Hello and welcome to Hardcast. And join us again for another Valiant comic, proving that even Valiant isn't exempt from dead is dead, but not really. I'm Humphrey Erm.
And I'm Christian Claus.
Lifeline. Give me Wrath of the Eternal Warrior, Volume 1. Risen.
Issue 1. Gilad is in a type of hell with a weird creature who is really frustrating to read. It seems that he has a life with a wife and children in this afterlife. They act like Gilad goes on some business trip for months, only to come back for a couple of days. But in this case, he comes back to life and returns home by dying. He has multiple children, most of whom love him dearly and are happy that he is home. But one, the oldest it seems, does not want to talk to him and spends the entire time outside shooting arrows at a tree. Gilad has apparently not spoken to him about his lineage, whatever that means. It's all very confusing, but I'm sure it will be cleared up as we read along.
Oh man, such good lore.
Yeah. Oh man, this was... I can say now we're not going to talk a lot about this comic in this episode. Because it is just so good.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, again, I like this kind of stuff though, and this is part of the fun of reading it more or less along as it's being published.
Mm.
So I mean, I did read this as it came out, so that's why we're reading them as separate issues rather than one big volume.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, as we mentioned before with like Marvel and DC stuff, like sure they come up with new things all the time, but it always seems to be like a lot of the important stuff happened long ago anyways. But here we actually get to find explanations and, like just lore about things that are inherent to characters. You're getting to experience it as it's being written.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's not like one writer for Batman suddenly deciding, you know what if, Batman went and studied martial arts all around the world and stuff. What if we connect him to Ra's al Ghul? I mean, again, he was a villain for many ways, but you know what I mean? It's like, let's expand on stuff. But here we actually get to have that and get an interesting explanation to how it works. So the one thing that immediately makes me think a bit, also considering what the next volume will be, that we'll be podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
So this is separate from the Dead Side.
Yeah, it seems so, yeah.
It's just kind of interesting because, again, is it like somewhere in the Dead Side, or is it just a parallel thing? Again, doesn't matter for me. I'm just kind of curious because you have one afterlife, but then apparently anyone who is the Eternal Warrior or any connection to him comes here instead.
Yeah. I mean, is it any connection?
Well, I am a bit curious about his wife.
Yeah, me too.
But, well, it was the olden days. I don't think they were quite as...
No, but what I'm kind of wondering right now is just like, what makes her so special?
Well, like I was going to say, it's the olden days. Maybe they weren't so bent out of shape about incest at the time.
Ah, come on.
No, I'm sorry. Though that would be an interesting thing to do with the Eternal Warrior. Again, not that specifically, but the values dissonance throughout his existence.
No, I think that's something that he would learn to adapt. Just like he's still not, fighting with rocks. He's adapted to guns. I mean, yes, he still has his trusted axe, but he does, shoot people now too. So I feel like he would also be able to go with the times. I mean, if he gets to literally see everything and he's like, oh, wait, it's not totally weird that, white people and black people get married, that kind of thing. So maybe I'm just kind of thinking, because to get back to the wife thing, like why this wife is the one that stays. Maybe that was his first wife.
Maybe again, it's always tricky. One would have to actually go through and like figure out the timeline a bit.
Actually, according to him, so you know how last time we were talking about how old he actually is.
Yeah.
He gave a number, 6,000.
Oh yeah.
So technically, if this is 1000 BC, that means at this point he's 3,000 years old. What, like this point in the sense of like he's 3,000 years old when he has his wife, when his wife dies in the next issue.
Right.
Spoiler
Yeah.
spoiler alert. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking to myself like, well, what makes her so special? Because I'm pretty sure he's had wives, quote unquote, before, and he pretty much has had wives after. I don't know. Is he much of a ladies' man? I mean, obviously his brother is, but you know,
Well, he does seem to have a lot of different children, so I'm assuming in some way or other.
right? Those children aren't necessarily
I
hers.
think it's only what her name is, Doja, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought they were all her children. No. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, because he only mentioned. I mean, this is kind of jumping ahead, but in the next issue, they only mentioned one child, and also considering
Oh,
that.
wait. That makes it even worse.
Oh God, yeah! Every time his children die, they come to her like, "Aha, you slept with someone else again."
Yeah. 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 But no, not only
what
that, but
what
think
makes you
about
say
it.
that?
Well, because this is supposed to be his paradise, so um, maybe he didn't actually love the other ones as much as her.
Ooh.
Like, could you imagine telling your child that, like, oh, yeah, okay, well, I loved your mother very dearly, but not as much as her. Have you seen the ass on her? Come on.
Or maybe it's something I don't know. Maybe like the Earth is very like specific about what kind of like marriages count.
Maybe. I don't
Only
know.
a true Christian marriage.
Yeah. Right, because the 1,000 years before Christ
Yeah, he just so
was
happened to get lucky that they did something that was similar enough.
exactly right.
It's not about this. It's not the context. It's the specifics.
God, and that what a shitty deadbeat dad as well.
Mm.
He comes in, drops off his kids to this woman, and then leaves again. It's like, here, take care of my spawn, please. I mean, what? How fucked up is that?
But I think that's the whole. Again, this is kind of throughout the volume, but I think that's supposed to be kind of giving him this extra like tragic edge.
Mm,
Like the fact that he willingly gives up this literal paradise to go
yeah,
back to our like to back to the living to fight because he wants to make this that world as good as like his own.
yeah.
I mean, that's very nice. It helps again, not that we didn't like him before, but again, it gives him this beautiful
Sacrifice.
tragedy.
I like that he has the sacrifice that he has to give. I mean, because he's already sacrificing so much on our world by being this, protector of the geomancer. But then the fact that he could be at peace. He just could be. And another thing that I love about this is that it's his choice. Because before, it always kind of made it feel like the earth was forcing him to stay alive.
Mm.
So that's why I thought it would be one of those things where, he's just lying there on the ground for like an extra 5 minutes or something like that, and then does the thing when he gets up. But I like that he can actually, that there are moments when he can just be dead.
Well, you might as well take advantage, like oh, okay, I died, but let's relax a bit.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's just a nice kind of setup there.
And I just love the dog curry. And it just the best thing, of course, is just the fact that, just paying old debts, Curry gnawed the calves off more than a few Goths in his time. I was just like, that is just, I
But
love it.
actually, doesn't that even bring up even weirder connotations? How come a dog is there?
Well, I mean, that's what I mean. I think it's just his paradise, and he picks and chooses who gets to be there.
Yeah, man, it's
Like obviously he would want to have his children there, and obviously he would probably want to. I mean, he can maybe say, okay, maybe this was his favorite wife, but you could also say that maybe this is the wife that he thinks about the most because of how tragically she died, and now he wants to give her a second chance at like existence or whatever. You know what I mean? And then with the dog, I mean, he was probably thinking like, "Oh, but I had that dog," and that's what makes a family like perfect is that there's a dog there, and you have the
yeah,
kid,
but
the dog.
yeah, but with the whole joke you had earlier about, yeah, sorry, I didn't like your mom as much as, my first wife.
Yeah,
But I did like this dog better than your mom. I think it's probably fine. Like, I mean, I don't care in that sense, but I would like to see if I could find out more about like how it actually works.
yeah,
Because the children for me makes more sense because it's his offspring.
right.
I'd assume that somehow like his immortality is kind of genetic at some point.
Mm.
So like that for me like makes sense that the children are there.
But what I'm thinking here is that because again, I'm just going back to the fact that it is his paradise, so it's what he sees as the perfect family life that he would like to have. And I guess that just involves, you know, a monogamous relationship in the sense of having one wife, and this is the wife he chose.
That makes sense, but the thing is also it's clearly not just how do we say like simulation slash like dream.
No, no.
I
It seems
mean,
like it is actually their souls.
well, yeah, I mean, otherwise you'd think they'd be more like if we're just gonna have some tragedy regarding that, it would be more that they're super complacent.
Right, right.
Like, oh, are you gonna leave now again? Okay, that's fine. We still love you.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's clear that his wife doesn't like it. And are you not staying now? So if he had full control of this paradise, it would just be that everything's fine. It'd be like that Superman or that Justice League episode. When he has the parasite on him, Superman.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What was it? The what do you get someone who has
Yeah,
everything?
yeah, to the man who has everything.
Yeah, yeah, that was the title, yeah.
Because it's obviously not that where he suddenly realizes it's wrong or something.
Mm.
Because that's everything's just super awesome there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll see. I keep saying that I should sort of like at people on Twitter. So, but I'll see if I actually do it this time because this genuinely I'm curious about.
Yeah.
Or maybe check on the Valiant subreddit. Maybe someone knows their reasoning. But yeah, and also, I mean, this is kind of for the whole volume, but beautiful art.
Oh yeah, obviously. Oh man. Come on.
I mean, we've had some, varying stuff, but really good use of black.
Mm, yes.
Like, oh, I mean, just that the first page, that last panel of Gilad's face, under the hood, but the eyes and scars shining through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so simple in a way, but just, oh, so cool. Or when he wakes
Yeah.
up in his bed, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was about to say even that whole scene was really nice with the whole the waking up to the smells and stuff like that. I just love the way that it was set up, just the like the ears and then people coming in and all that kind of stuff, and then also just the like touch and it was really nice. Like, it was very dramatic. I liked it.
So, yeah, no, exactly. So, like, going through all the senses, like, I especially love the extra touch with the touch,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
like with the fingerprint, like
Yeah.
that far in to really hit it home. Especially considering there's not as much contrast in between the panels. Like the other ones is a bit more distance between, like, oh, he's hearing things,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just a close up of his ears, so we're getting the skin color all the time. But then, it's something very different in between. So, but with the touching, it's like, it's kind of the same all the time, but even then, you kind of get the context of it, so to speak. Ah, that's great. Even interesting too, the choice of the black panel in the first page of the start of each page.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure the point of that, besides maybe keeping like the flow right.
I don't know. They could have always put a different kind of, but I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, they could have always added another panel of something. I mean, it looks it's interesting on like page
Oh
10 because it looks like it's like when she's opening up the door.
no,
Oh
but I
wait,
think
no,
it's
it's the
super close.
nose. It's
It's
super
super
close. Yeah,
close
yeah,
up.
yeah, 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 yeah,
It's with inside the nose, and then
yeah,
with
yeah.
inside the ear, and it's the
And then with
pupil.
yes, yes. Now I see it.
And I guess the finger, it's just
It might
so
be the
it's so close that it's
yeah,
the fingerprint, like the
yeah. Okay, now I see it. Yeah, yeah.
damn. Hats
Nice.
off to what's his name,
What's his name?
Raoul
Raoul
Allen.
Allen and Patricia Merton.
Well done, well done. But see, that's what I mean, and I like it that we both seem to notice this stuff, where
Hmm.
there's an actual. Again, it doesn't mean that every like writer and artist have to constantly come up with clever, page layouts and panel layouts. That sometimes it can be like distracting if they're trying to be too fancy.
Yeah.
But it's just so nice here. There's a theme. There's sort of like a purpose to it, and it's great execution, and so good. So it's actually a lot of. Oh yeah, true. And then we have a break there, and then we get into taste.
Yeah.
Man, but see, because the template, it repeats itself. So good. There's the pattern. Issue 2. We see how Gilad's wife Lina and daughter Dayo died way back in 1000 BC. Their whole village destroyed by sickness, but leaving Gilad unharmed. We cut to the paradise he's currently in, and seeing both of them alive and well, Gilad playing with all his children outside. He tries to bond with his firstborn, Calem, but due to him having never known Gilad as a father, he rejects him, not caring for Gilad's explanations. Gilad decides it's time to come back to life, much to the chagrin of his family. He equips himself and says goodbye to his family, even Calem calling him father, but out of earshot. Gilad mows through an army of demons, trying to get to a door that will take him back. But a sinister demon appropriately named Humongous is waiting for
My favorite line of the entire comic. Die soon, Papa.
him. Yep.
It's just, it's so cute. I mean, with the context, just like, oh, come on.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, awful thing to say, but as you said, in context, it makes sense.
I was thinking also, I mean, wouldn't it be so interesting if, like, how fearless would you be in life if you knew this was where you're going?
Well, again, depends. I mean,
I mean, I mean, obviously, Gilad is. I mean, yeah, technically, I mean, Gilad is immortal in that sense that he even if he does die, like if he actually does die, he always has a chance to go back and have this pit stop with his family. But I don't know, it just feels so. I don't know. My life would be very different if this was what was waiting. If I knew this was what was waiting for me.
yeah, but keep in mind also, this afterlife is only there thanks to him having, a big life.
But yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, duh. I'm just saying.
But also like that though, that the whole how do you say, well, that the whole like sort of rules of coming back it's tough. It's
Yeah,
not
of course.
just choosing to go back. It's like, all right, well, mow through all these enemies and fight the
Yeah,
final boss each time. And in between times, they try to get even stronger. So I hope
yeah.
you leveled up enough in the land of living.
Right, right.
I also love the concept of Calem there. I mean, I know what happens in the next volume,
Okay.
so I know a little bit more context. But the whole idea of what we see, at least what we find out here, that he was kidnapped as a child and never knew Gilad,
Yeah,
and having lived like a good life, this not knowing that it was wrong, so to speak. As he said, he loved his true father, as he says. and then to kind of die and not go to, like heaven with his family,
Mm-hmm.
but this stranger who he doesn't know is like, I don't know, I like that. It's like, oh, it's little things like this that I feel, I'm not gonna say it's missing as well as not always necessary for everything, but I feel with superheroes, it seems to be part of the course to just have these layers of tragedy of some sort.
Yeah.
It's always something. It's either Spider-Man, not stopping that criminal, and thus, his uncle dies, or just having like your entire planet destroyed and you're the last remnant. It's these little things like that, and it just helps make them a better character.
So did all these people die when they were young?
I'm assuming so.
Hmm.
Or you mean more like this is like their impression, like it's Gilad's memories of them?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, but then again, that doesn't make sense with then Caleb
Exactly.
because yeah. Now, I'm just wondering because I mean, I mean, obviously, I know that the life expectancy wasn't that great back in the day, um, but I'm just kind of wondering, like, really, all of these, like, he doesn't have a single child that kind of made it to old age. Like they all
No.
died when they were kids, and one who seems to be a young adult, maybe an old teenager. I don't know. It just, yeah, I guess.
So yeah, no, I mean I guess it would be kind of odd more if it's just a bunch of like grown men there.
Yeah, maybe some people who are like actually like 70 or 80 and just like, oh, hello, father.
Mm. It could have been kind of cool though.
Play with me, daddy.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's all but again, it's just such a cool thing. I mean, if we're thinking again, we can't help ourselves to think about like this as a like movie universe. But this would be like a really cool kind of thing to go on like during a film. Like how am I trying to describe it?
I don't know.
Well, let's say then we get our Valiant cinematic universe, and they're all big hits or big enough hits.
And I play Gilad.
Yes, but then when he dies in the Book of Death adaptation,
When I die in Book of Death adaptation, yeah.
no, the character dies.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Then for whatever film they come up with, then to continue it, some Unity film or something, and they're kind of like, we need Gilad, where is he? And then throughout the film, these scenes are sprinkled.
Oh, that would be cool.
It gives you kind of a break from the action that would be going on in the land of the living,
Hmm.
as well as then giving you Gilad without having him be there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like cutting to there every so often. I can't think of a good example right now.
Well, I don't think that's something very unprecedented.
True. I guess the closest would be that same episode. So with Batman and Wonder Woman fighting. What's his name? Mongol.
Yeah.
Because it cuts constantly back between Superman's fantasy and then the action in the real world, so to speak.
Right.
So something like that, but on a larger scale. I don't know, just so good. Though again, another one of these things where you just think about a little bit. The armory. Again, I don't care so much in terms of like this would be ruined if I don't get an explanation, but it's just about the logic of it all. Like, so is this kind of like his memories of weapons,
Hmm.
and he kind of just has as much as he needs, or is it whatever he's had on him at the time of dying? Again, it's not quite clear how that should work,
Yeah.
because everything else we can assume they can kind of make there. There's trees and stuff, and everything's very, what do you say, low tech. It's all very homely there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think especially with the grenades, it feels very the grenades and the gun, and especially like in the next volume or within the next issue, they do mention the grenades specifically as something new.
True.
So Yeah, maybe it is something that he just brings with him, like that, what he has on him when he dies, or again, as this is his paradise, it's what he needs. That's what would be alluring to him. It's like whatever you want, whatever you need, it's here. You don't have to worry about anything. If you need a grenade that you used back on Earth, do it. Here you go. Use it to blow people to smithereens.
Yeah.
And also those iron knuckles, man. That's dangerous. But yeah, I think it's just a very simple explanation. Everything he wants, it's right there where he needs it.
So it seems to be kind of like, at least in terms of the physical stuff, if we ignore like the people,
Mm-hmm.
it does seem to kind of be a bit of like memory slash wish fulfillment in terms of like it's provided for him in terms of what would be perfect.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, within limits. I think within limits. I wouldn't imagine him being like, "All right, I need a tank."
Oh, he's a humble man.
True, true.
So, but true, actually, again, that's one of those things where you open up a lot of questions.
Well, it's also one of these things, Humphrey. It is a comic book,
Mm.
and these are things that we need to, use to make it cool. I mean, obviously, we don't want him using a tank and just rolling through all these people. We want to see him fight.
Though
We want to
honestly,
see
for a
him.
bit of it could be kind of cool.
Well, yeah, yeah, but still.
Like it could maybe like for the first portion, just ramming through, shooting, but then it's too much, and then he pops out.
Well, I mean, seeing what how this volume ends, I'm assuming we're gonna have plenty of chances for slaughtering.
Mm. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I was gonna say again, art wise, page 18, that splash page of him just jumping at the demons,
Oh yeah.
and again, as I mentioned earlier, the use of black.
Yeah.
Again, not an amazing, original thing. Oh, a black background, but oh, everything just pops. The colors, it's so
Mm,
clear.
yeah.
I mean, it's almost simplistic. Black background, red enemies, and then little brownish, bluish, middle.
Mm.
But it
Oh, it's
just,
so good.
yeah, I'm just going through it now again, and just, oh. I mean, yes, the red backgrounds when he's rushing towards the fake Lena.
Mm-hmm.
There's this rhythm to the panels. It's just so delightful.
Yeah, it's just closer, 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 and then page turner, headshot.
Oh God! And on page 20, like after that, or like as he gets the headshot,
Mm-hmm.
those middle panels,
Oh
there's
God, the fucking
the diagonal line of the axe and the
yes. Oh
heads.
my God. Oh my God.
I mean, damn, so
It.
much thought.
I mean, not only that, but the entire panel is diagonal. Like your eye moves from the bottom where her head is.
Exactly.
It just moves. Oh, and the line is just. Oh fuck, dude.
I mean, it's a little bit. I'm not gonna say wrong, but it kind of defeats that a bit with the speech balloons in terms of like our
Yeah.
eye. So like, oh, looking there, going up there, and then looking up
Yeah.
quickly, then back there and looking up quickly, and then it works again. But that image wise, oh,
Oh man.
again, this artist is amazing.
Yeah. Or these artists.
Well, what was it both artists or was one colorer? I mean, not that they're not artists as well.
I don't know. It said. Where was it?
Should say in the beginning.
This is the Valiant stuff. At the beginning of the first one, it says it.
Nah, we'll leave it away.
Yeah. Where's the title screen? Oh, I don't know. But I thought it was two people. Patricia Martin.
Mm. Yeah, the name I saw, but it's more like the credit.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to see the credits now too. I can just find the one for all the. Here. Artists. Raoul Allen and Patricia Martin. Art assistant David Estruga. Additional colors Boria Pindado. Letterer Patricia Martin. Edited by Warren Simmons. Assistant editing Tom Brennan. Yeah. So I mean, maybe he does do, or maybe she did do the colors as well, but she also did the lettering.
Actually, we could have also looked at the end of the pages too, or like the end of the issues,
Hmm.
because they have those like non-lettered pages,
Oh yeah,
and there it does say artwork by Raoul Allen and Patricia Martin. So it seems like the process there is not so much about like the usual
yeah,
inking and then digital coloring.
yeah.
Seems like it's all kind of done either traditionally or at the same time.
Okay, cool.
But yes, another mention regarding the art. In general, it just feels because you were discussing earlier, in a different episode about the cinematic nature of the storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
and you get that here, but it's also because again, I know what you mean by cinematic, and I've said it myself before. But the thing is, it kind of goes beyond just cinematic. It's so comic. Like it really feels like it's taking advantage of the medium, the way
Oh
they're
yeah,
just pacing everything.
yeah,
Because sure, you could like recreate this in cinema, you could say, if you then change the formatting of each, actual shot.
yeah. To 16:9.
Exactly.
Well,
But it's just the way because the size and shape of each panel, like if you were to compare to music, it's a little bit more like, if you're checking out the notes on a music sheet, it's almost kind of like that the way you can read it sometimes in terms of how long do you last on a panel based on like the
mm-hmm.
size of it and length and how they connect to each other with the imagery, so you can get these very you can get these compositions
Yeah.
that just tie themselves together so well, which makes like a page so beautifully read. I know, it's great. Everything's great.
Issue 3. We get some backstory on the relationship between Humongous and Gilad. I guess at some point Gilad was captured by Humongous and tortured. While the boss was away, and in what is probably one of the most badass escape techniques out there, Gilad lets a rat chew through his wrist enough so that either it's small enough or there's enough blood that he can slip through his shackle and decimate his captors. Before Humongous comes back, Gilad is gone. Back in the present, Gilad makes his way through the horde and arrives at the Iron Gate. But before he can reach it, Humongous steps in and blocks the way, setting up the final battle in the next issue.
So, were you bothered by the back and forth in this volume? Because that's the kind of stuff you usually complain about. The first issue had the whole thing before, or no, no, right, the current, and then before. Now we have like a whole way, way back to the flashback.
I don't know, I mean, it seemed very clear. I think because contextually you knew where you were supposed to be. Like obviously when there was I mean, all right, so here's the thing. We didn't jump back and forth too much. I didn't feel like we were jumping back and forth. We jumped once back to tell the story, and then we jumped forward. And I like that because I mean it was always every kind of time shift or shift of any kind was very clear. I mean when he was being tortured, I mean this was like okay, we understand this is from before, and that all happened, and then he kind of fainted or died, I guess, and then we have this little time and then with his family again, but it was like a complete tonal shift. It was like the colors were different, so we knew it was a different thing, and then we had him escape and attack, and then we moved back to the now, and then he just continued forward and everything's fine, and then it ends. And I feel like that's no problem at all because it's always very clear what is what and when is when. And if you do it like that, that's fine. But it's just the constant backing, going back and forth, and not changing anything visually about it. so that it's not immediately clear, and you have to read the small caption that says now or later or earlier or 2 months ago. I don't know, whatever this they come up with really arbitrary ways of saying it.
Yeah, it didn't bother me either. So just I always remember the many rants you've had during this podcast.
No, but again, it's only when they do it badly. I mean,
Mm,
they didn't do it badly here.
all right.
I mean, obviously, yes, I'm a little bit. I just don't like the whole now, and I just don't like that as a concept of that being the way to explain what time is.
Well, I guess
I'd
in
rather,
this case it kind of works too because it's more ethereal.
yeah.
So like in here, in this case, on the first page, it's beyond time, long ago. Like it's
Well,
not
if it
so
was
important.
beyond time, then how can it be long time ago? Because then there's no concept of time.
So that yeah, that's how long ago it was.
Uh,
But another yes example of the great art there, like the phonetically,
hmm.
you get the what's called you get the nice diagonal there of the spikes on the first page, going downwards, and then the head of humongous going diagonally upwards.
Oh yeah.
Even to the point where the skull entrance is a skull, so also following that head
Mm-hmm.
diagonal. It's like, oh god. Like it's the point where it's almost not really that it's necessary or says anything, but yes, as an art piece, it's just beautiful. Like I love that when you have like a nice art piece where just cool, these things match. There's a pattern, awesome. But what does it mean? I don't care. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about this issue. I mean, it's just showing how badass Gilad is, and and then sets up the next volume or next issue.
Yeah, it's true. So, but again, it gives a little bit more indication of what these demons are.
Does it?
Well, a little bit. I mean, we kind of got an idea about their names. So, like, they're all named after like sort of concepts. They don't have like real names, quote unquote. So I can't find an actual quote here right now. But at some point, if it's this one or the next one, they mentioned something like they call them stuff. Like the flying one is called Chatter because he's constantly
Right.
chattering,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the main one, Humongous. So I kind of like that. It kind of gives them a sense that they're not individuals. I mean, they are, but just the basest of forms.
Right.
They're Smurfs. They're Smurfs. They have one thing that differentiates them between each other.
And then they have the one woman that's called Lady.
Yes, that'll be well. Yeah, that was Leela's. That was Leela that he shot in the previous issue.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, and Gilad biting off the tongue of that guy.
Oh yeah.
It's just I don't know. I just get so like what I like about it. It's he gets down and dirty. No, but like with Ninjak, even though he gets hurt a lot, there's always a finesse.
Hmm.
And with Auric, it's usually just kind of like pure brawn. It's like the suit does the work for him. But here is like just pure grit.
Yeah.
Like this is not what's the word? Not handsome. What's the word? It's not elegant.
Okay.
It's like this isn't like a James Bond kind of thing where it's a bit more, yeah, it's got you now.
Yeah.
Luckily I had this gadget, or oh, luckily I
Yeah.
had, luckily my female assistant came in time. It's no, he's being whipped and drained of his blood by these
Right.
demons.
Yeah. I mean, it's like with James Bond. It's like after the fight, he stands up straight, straightens his tie, and then he could be back at the ball,
With
and
the
no one would
exception
know.
of Casino Royale.
Well, of course. But with Gilad, it's just like nah, nah. He's gonna come back and be all like, "All right, I did something. I changed something."
And I don't know, I kind of, with the whole tongue biting thing, I couldn't help but think of the first Hellboy movie too.
Mm.
Yes, when that weird demon thing is trying to like attack Hellboy,
Yeah.
it goes like, first date, no tongue. But yeah, just badass, and even then he gets to be cool too. Run. I think I'll
I'm
stay for
just
a
getting
while.
started.
I mean, oh, and again, nothing unique, but just that panel of him with the shadow.
Mm.
It's, I mean, it's to the point where it's almost like I've heard people sometimes regarding stuff as Babby's first symbolism or something.
Oh
Like Babby's
yeah.
first movie or whatever, Babby's first RPG.
Yeah.
It's like so obvious to the point of like it's I mean
They
you don't
figured out how to do something, so now they do it all the time.
yeah, but it works. It
Yeah.
just works like and it's done so well too, It's not like it's not like they're doing it to compensate for mediocre art. It's like yes, oh.
It's like that time when I figured out or found out how to do that one cinematic shot that Steven Spielberg does a lot.
Oh, which one?
It's the one where you zoom in on the person or you zoom out of the person, but move the camera towards them.
Yeah.
Where it kind of gets that kind of weird effect that he does it in Jaws, I think, a couple of times.
Yeah, it's the one with the I forget the actor's name, but like the cop dad
Yeah,
when they're
yeah,
at the beach and he realizes that there's a shark out there.
yeah. And it's a really nice effect, and basically you're just changing like the lens at the same time when you're moving. Um, and I remember when I had that, I was like, "Oh, that's so cool!" And I started doing it, and then I was like, "Oh, but I don't have any reason to use it." Like I wanted to use it all the time because it was like, "This is so cool," but no thematic reason to.
Mm. And yes, another thing. Sorry, yes, another thing about that panel
Mm,
because I love it when people can. I mean, this is usually more impressive within live action because it's a bit more set in stone, like the environment and stuff.
yeah.
But I love the fact that the red, like all the blood behind him,
Mm,
perfectly like gives him outline. Like it's not just his black silhouette against the blue rockishness,
yeah.
but we actually get this nice red that pops. And it's not that it's like just like glow around him, but no, it's actually on the ground being dragged out
Yeah.
off there.
Uh,
I don't know. It was a delight reading like all these
yeah.
issues.
Yeah, it was really fun. All right, so we went to the last one.
Gilad goes through the final fight against Humongous, and despite his taunts and seemingly logical thinking, the Eternal Warrior manages to defeat him and enter through the Iron Door, and back to the land of the living. But all is not as it seems, for he wakes up in some odd laboratory, being observed by some old man in glasses who is apparently prepared to kill him again, many times.
Dun, 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 dun. Now I can't believe we have to wait forever to read the next one.
Yeah, yeah, because I remembered. I mean, I knew this was going to happen, of course, because I've read that far.
Mm.
But reading this again, I'm like, right, oh man, this is going to work so well in the next one.
Oh man.
But again, with the art as well, just the sudden like color change. Again, it's not just that he's back to the world of the living, but this whole like very clinical, sterile environment.
Yeah.
Just so cool.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, basically, so the idea is that when he goes through the Iron Gate, he just wakes up again in his body. So whoever gets the body in the end, which also honestly, that's a kind of shitty of Unity to just leave the body hanging around.
Nah, but who knows? I think there's an explanation for it.
Yeah, but still, I mean, come on.
No, but I'm sure they buried him. But then whoever this guy is probably dug him up.
Wait, why would they have buried him? They know that he's going to come back to life.
No, they don't know.
They know that he's immortal.
Well, yeah, but immortal in terms of they thought he'd never die. They don't know how it works.
Oh, okay. Wait, you don't know that.
No, that's. I mean, if you remember in the Book of Death, they're all kind of like surprised at it. Like, Like,
Oh,
is he
okay.
dead? Like, no one's like, I mean, I guess they could have seen like maybe, but I guess Ivar Time Walker might be hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, you can't just call him.
And Armstrong probably wouldn't know the specifics of it, so I don't think anyone else would know.
Hmm.
I don't even think Tama, the new Geomancer, knows like how it works.
Yeah. But yeah, again, not really much to say about this. I mean, there's that whole huge twist at the end. Otherwise, it was just him beating on Humongous, just literally beating him to death with the sharp part of the axe.
True. Yeah, I'm scrolling through it now. Just like the thumbnails,
Mm.
and you're right. There's not even a cutting to anything.
Yeah, nothing.
It's just one long fight scene.
Not even really a fight scene. I feel like it feels it was very one sided. It was just like, here, let me just kill you.
Yeah, it starts off a little bit more fair, so to speak.
Yeah, I guess with the
He makes that
fire
like fire
trident.
circle around him and tries to like psychologically manipulate him with the images in the fire.
Bro, this is not my first rodeo. Let me deliver it for you. Yeah, it's just amazing. The art, the coloring, it's just so nice.
And again, another great use of the whole like panel stuff, like on page 16 when he after he defeats him and he's like lying in the rain.
Oh yeah,
Like the black panels for me at least must mean like dropping in and out of consciousness.
yeah, exactly.
Like uh
Or the dun 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 dun.
and crawling up to it. And also as he mentions in let's see here. Was it here or was it the previous one? Yeah, no, it's here. I kind of like a bit of the how should we say the logic of the demons, or at least of Humongous here. Like he doesn't like things that are out of place. Like the door, the iron gate here, or the
Yeah,
iron door.
yeah.
I have tried to destroy it many times, set acid spitters upon it, heaped stone eaters against it. It remains unmarred. And I kind of like that. There's this, he's the ruler of this place, and there's this thing here he can't do anything about.
Right, but that means that there must be someone more powerful than him that has a way to put these things in there. Probably also the person who created that paradise for Gilad.
Well, I'm assuming that's the Earth somehow.
Yeah, maybe.
So, but that's
Or
also the
maybe
whole
it's
thing. Did this
Master
world
Dart.
exist then? Like, so did these demons living in quote unquote peace, just them. And then suddenly this forest thing comes up where a house is built, and then this door right in the middle of nowhere. And every so often, this guy's gonna run through all of you.
He's like the Olympics. He was the torchbearer
Mm.
running through the streets, and everyone's just like, hey, there's the torchbearer again. Let's try not to kill him. I mean, obviously, in this context, you would try to kill him.
Exactly.
He's just great. And I'm assuming you're not going to tell me anything more about the labyrinth.
I mean, I don't want to. It's part of the
Hmm.
excitement, especially based on how, because it's going to be a long volume next time.
Oh.
I think it's going to be like 5 issues.
Oh, okay.
So, and it also has does it say there? No, it doesn't say on that preview page, but the first 2 issues is going to basically be called Prelude to Labyrinth. So it's going to actually going to be like stuff. It's going to be a bit of a flashback before we get back to the actual labyrinth.
Okay.
But it's all in the same volume, so it's not like a whole volume of a flashback, and
Yeah.
then you have to wait even longer to see what happens in the labyrinth.
Yeah, like a volume to explain what this all is. And yeah.
Exactly. But
All
it's
right.
cool. It's interesting, and
All right.
that bad guy too. Very interesting concept. You'll see his gimmick.
Okay. I mean,
So,
obviously, he wants to harness the power to bring him back to life.
oh yeah,
I mean, or something like figure out how that works.
Oh yeah.
And the only way we can do it is practice, practice, practice. So I'm going to keep killing you and see what happens in your brain.
Yeah, but I don't, you'll see. You'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, let me have a quick peek. Oh damn, yeah, it'll be like 12 issues from here, or like 12 volumes from here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no, no, sorry, even more. I was looking a little further down. Yeah, like 15 issues from here,
Oh, damn.
or volumes, so to speak. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a while. But yeah, just a really solid volume,
Yep.
amazing art,
Mm-hmm.
lore, world building.
Yep.
I mean, there's really no issue besides ending.
Yeah, I didn't want it to end.
I mean, you'd love to just take the next volume and continue reading, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's that's good stuff.
Oh, so just a little thing here at the end. Um, my girlfriend finished her model of the immortal enemy.
Right, so cool.
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty awesome. You can probably find it on my Twitter. I reblogged it.
Now you can find it in the show notes as well on this episode.
All right, okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah, put her Instagram, and kind of she was I lent her the PDF of the comic, so she could kind of read it, and she was like, "Oh, I really want to read more," but and then she was like getting really into it, like really into Valiant now too. And we were like having some discussions. I was showing her some characters yesterday, and she was like really into it. And now as like I guess you could call it a reward for finishing the model, I bought her the Valiant volume, like as a hardcover or a hard copy.
Oh, the Valiant. Okay.
The Valiant.
Like I was gonna say, well, which one, Chris?
No, the Valiant. And it's coming tomorrow, so she doesn't know. So it's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna be fun. Because she was thinking she wanted to get it because she was like, yeah, I really want to read it and read more, but she hates reading it on a screen. So now I bought her the volume so that she can enjoy.
Nice. It's the perfect gift.
So I think you created another Valiant fan here, Humphrey.
Woo!
Like indirectly.
Well, then I have to bring in another little thing. I was at a birthday party yesterday of a good friend of mine, and we just came across the topic because we like talking about like the DC and Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And I just always kind of sneakily sneak in the idea about, yeah, well, there's coming another superhero universe soon too. And he actually had heard of Valiant before.
Oh.
Yeah, so he actually has an old Turok comic from the 90s.
Mm.
So he's not sure how much it could be worth because it's again from that time where there was all this collector stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna see if he has it next time I visit because that could be cool to see.
Definitely.
So, because at first I thought like, oh no, wait, he mixed it up with Image because he mentioned the Wildcats, which was an old series, but nope, that's wrong. But then he mentioned Turok, and like, yes. So,
All right.
but yeah, no, there's more than we think.
Yeah.
Oh, but you should show Humongous to her too, though.
I did. I actually was when I was reading this comic today. I was like, "Hey, I found your next thing." She wasn't too interested. He's from a design perspective, he is very simple.
True, he's kind of generic, I guess.
Yeah, so she wasn't too impressed.
He's evil
she's
Groot.
working on her next thing, huh?
He's evil Groot.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
With Aquaman because he has a trident.
Right. Well, she's already working on her next thing, so I mean, it's not Valiant related, but it's
drop.
It's gonna be awesome. Come on, dude.
No, only if it's Valiant.
Yeah. All right. Well then, you can discuss this episode on Reddit, tweet us, or you can follow us on Facebook. Also, all of our episodes are available on our hosting site Podbean. Links are in the show notes. Catch us next time for
The Death-Defying Dr. Mirage Volume 2, Second Lines.
All right, thank you very much.
So we're sticking to the afterlife theme.
Hmm.